Johannesburg is a vast metropolitan landscape. It is a city of migrants and has been so since the early days. A group of white men known as the Voortrekkers, Dutch settlers, found gold in the open belt southeast of Johannesburg. Since then, it has grown into a major city. It is now home to more than 4 million people and over 1 million households. You can imagine a city like this has high power demands, and it takes a lot of power to keep those lights on and those cell phones charged. A staggering 237,000 gigahertz. That's me, Sumitlal. I've been living in Johannesburg since 2010. I love getting up in the morning and getting on my mountain bike and riding around the city. Eskom, the Electricity Supply Commission, a state-owned utility, is responsible for generating, transmitting, and distributing electricity to mining, commercial, agricultural, and residential customers. The South African economy is based on a theory called the mineral energy complex, which is a theory that states, in order to grow an economy, it is necessary to have a large centralized baseload, production of electricity, which is distributed through a grid to energy-intense users. Industry and mining consume over 60% of the electricity produced in the country. Millions of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere.
I was trying to get a hold of Hilary Joffe.
Yes, she's not immediately available.
Hi Hilary, this is Hlumi. Are you available for a phone interview?
Sorry, I'm not available. Record your message at the tone.
Hi there, I'd like to know if Brian Dames, the Chief Executive of Eskom, is available for an interview.
After trying to call Eskom headquarters without success, I decided I'd enjoy a beautiful day with Greenpeace activist Melita Steele.
Well, I'm a climate campaigner for Greenpeace Africa. My job is basically to work particularly on issues around coal, and we campaign for an energy revolution. 93% of South Africa's electricity comes from coal, and that's because Eskom is building coal-fired power stations. I've always had an affinity with nature, and I really care about the environment.
What is your ideal world?
I guess it would be a world in which people are connected with the world that we live in, rather than sort of distant. Every time you flick a light switch in South Africa, you don't know that you're burning coal somewhere because we're so disconnected, we don't see it. In 2011, Eskom contributed 62.3% of South Africa's emissions.
Yeah.
Just Eskom alone.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Eskom uses 10,000 litres of water per second, and that's because of the coal intensity.
Yeah.
The only way to reduce our carbon intensity and our contribution to climate change is actually to shift away from coal.
This is for, they told you it was a documentary that is going to be
Yeah.
shown all over the world.
She just phoned me.
Yeah, we just wanted to talk basically about Matobi Power Plant.
Doesn't sound like she will.
So we finally met with a representative from Eskom, and she had some interesting things to say.
Ask, well, why are we building coal? And really for us as Eskom, we are balancing a few imperatives for the country. We need a secure supply of electricity for the country. And there's no question that we need more capacity. And we need more baseload capacity, the kind of capacity that can run all the time, power a mine, power a big steel factory, power a chemicals factory, baseload, which we can rely on to run when it's running. And in South Africa, you get that from quite limited sources. Unlike other countries, many other countries, we do not have big reserves of natural gas. We do not have, it's a very water scarce country, South Africa, so we can't really do hydroelectric power, which a lot of other countries use for baseload. Coal is what we've got, but wind power is no substitute for baseload power. The average availability of a wind station is well below 30%. Now, Medupi and Kusile, compared to our older coal-fired stations, use only 1/10 of the water per unit of energy that those older stations would be using, because they are dry-cooled. In fact, they will be, when they are done, the biggest dry-cooled stations in the world. Every technology has environmental impacts. It's a question really of finding a balance, and of also looking at both the costs and the benefits. We agree globally about coal and carbon emissions, and that's why it's important to invest in cleaner coal, if not completely clean coal.
It seems then that Eskom's job is to keep the lights on, regardless of what source of energy we use.
Yeah, exactly. That's our challenge, and as you know, it's not an easy challenge at the moment.
South Africa is a fossil fuel dependent economy, and it looks like we won't stop using coal anytime soon. I've been told much about the Medupi power plant. It's time I see it for myself, so I'll cycle 360 kilometers to see Eskom's new generation of coal-fired power plants.
Umoya telefonela ukhona ungafaki inyani enze njengathi kwathi ngathi right right nafuthi
Wenzani yaphala?
nithini nina ngayo
Thina sifuna umsebenzi. Asine any opinion ngayo. Sifuna net umsebenzi.
environment
Sifuna ukusebenza kuphela.
Kuphela.
Sithola imali.
On my way to Limpopo, I met a Dutch couple and they told me what they're doing with solar energy.
the solar energy.
Oh,
okay.
Our own houses. But
Yeah.
We have solar energy.
So we have 24 this size,
Yeah.
and that's enough for our own what we use a year.
Oh, okay.
In the winter we buy, and in the summer we sell.
Yeah. Oh,
So
well, you sell back to the government or
yeah, we sell back to the energy
company?
company.
Oh, okay.
They take it back.
Basically
So
feeding
then,
the grid.
1 year it's in balance,
Yeah.
and we pay zero.
Well, I continued on my way to Limpopo with another 150 kilometers to cycle. After a tiresome trip, I finally arrived at the Balela. In a few minutes, I'd have the chance to see the plant.
How close?
I asked some Balela locals, but they didn't seem to know much about the power plant. Nonetheless, they pointed me in the right direction, so I kept on and followed the power lines, bound to lead me to the source, Medupi. To my surprise, there was another coal-fired power station, but Medupi was truly like a mountain. Nothing was bigger than it for kilometers. So this was it, the Medupi power plant, Eskom's new generation of coal-fired power station, a megastructure. After a long journey, fatigue settled in. I had laid eyes to the Medupi power plant. I broke down in front of my crew due to exhaustion. I couldn't breathe, the heat was so intense. It was as if I was in the center of the sun. That's how hot it was. In a world powered with fossil fuels, it can only get hotter.
I think it's an atrocity, but we need it. There's nothing else I can say about it. I think what I've learned to this whole journey is we as people have an intertwined relationship with nature. I think at this rate, when we're concerned about producing power by any means necessary, we're not working together with nature. And when the earth is full of greenhouse gases and the earth is getting hotter than today, hotter than the bumper, I think we'll learn to regret it. I think we'll consider our decisions in producing or using coal, fossil fuels, was a mistake.
I guess this place called Neverland is a place we'll never find.